दिव्या एजुकेशन में आपका स्वागत है। आज आप पढ़ेंगे कंकाल तंत्र के बारे में संपूर्ण जानकारी, ह्यूमन स्केलेटन सिस्टम इन हिंदी।
The human skeleton is the internal structure of the body. 270 bones in a newborn baby at the time of birth. 206 bones in adolescence and adulthood. The human skeleton is divided into axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. The axial skeleton is made up of the spine, rib cage and skull. The appendicular skeleton is connected to the axial skeleton and is made up of the pelvic girdle, and bones of the lower limb and upper limb. Skull, the bone structure of a human मनुष्य के सिर की अस्थि संरचना. खोपड़ी, कपाल. Functions of the skull include protection of the brain, fixing the distance between the eyes to allow stereoscopic vision, and fixing the position of the ears to enable sound localization of the direction and distance of sounds. Clavicle. The clavicle, or collarbone, is a slender S-shaped long bone, approximately 6 inches, 15 centimeters long, that serves as a strut between the shoulder blade and the sternum, breastbone. There are 2 clavicles, one on the left and one on the right. Sternum, the long flat bone in the middle of your chest, that the 7 top pairs of curved bones, ribs, are connected to. Rib cage. The rib cage is an endoskeletal enclosure in the thorax of most vertebrate animals that comprises the ribs, vertebral column and sternum, which protects vital organs such as the heart, lungs and great vessels. Radius. The radius or radial bone, pars radii or radiuses, is one of the 2 large bones of the forearm, the other being the ulna. It extends from the lateral side of the elbow to the thumb side of the wrist and runs parallel to the ulna. The ulna is longer than the radius, but the radius is thicker. The radius is a long bone, prism-shaped and slightly curved longitudinally. The radius is part of 2 joints, the elbow and the wrist. At the elbow, it joins with the capitulum of the humerus, and in a separate region with the ulna at the radial notch. At the wrist, the radius forms a joint with the ulnar bone. Spine. The human spine is a complex anatomic structure that is the scaffolding for the entire body. It provides several important functions, including protecting the spinal cord and nerves, structural support for the body, allowing us to stand upright. The spine supports about half the weight of the body. Pelvis. The pelvis is the lower portion of the trunk, located between the abdomen and the lower limbs. The pelvis's frame is made up of the bones of the pelvis, which connect the axial skeleton to the femurs, and therefore acts in weight-bearing of the upper body. Tibia, femur, fibula. The lower leg is comprised of 2 bones, the tibia and the smaller fibula. The thigh bone, or femur, is the large upper leg bone that connects the lower leg bones, knee joint, to the pelvic bone, hip joint. The human skeleton performs the following 6 functions: sustenance, movement, protection, formation of blood cells, storage of ions, and endocrine regulation.